Some people think I'm an alien. Not true.
Well, it's not everyone's decision, though. But I have to, as a friend of mine was actually, I was talking to this friend of mine this weekend, and he said, when's the last time you had a vacation where you didn't do work for a week? And I was like, well, maybe like year 2000, when I had malaria. Stuck in the hospital and didn't have the internet. So maybe I should take another break,
Doing grad studies in applied physics and computer science, and I guess that, I didn't have a computer science degree or several years working at a software company. So for whatever reason, I didn't get a reply from Netscape, and I actually tried hanging out in the lobby, but I was too shy to talk to anyone, so I was just like standing in the lobby. And then
I just walked in. Did you have your resume with you, or was it?
Yeah, actually, it was pretty embarrassing. I was just sort of standing there, trying to see if there's someone I could talk to, and then I just couldn't. I was too scared to talk to anyone, so then I left.
Amazing.
I think the United States is very much a nation of explorers, a distillation of the human spirit of exploration, and it's obviously something that appeals to people with who have an adventurous. Anyone who has an adventurous bone in their body is going to be very excited about this, and I think it will help reinvigorate interest in space. It's remarkable to think that the last time that a crewed launch vehicle departed from the United States was, I believe, 2011 or thereabouts. So it's been almost a decade, which is remarkable. And so I think it'll be really profound to have that. It's kind of to be back in the saddle again and to be launching frequently with the astronaut crew. I think it's something that matters to all Americans and to people worldwide.
There have been 3 flights so far, and each one has obviously the goal is to get into orbit. Each one has sort of not made it. How did you deal with the?
Well, we got to space.
Okay, you got to space, but it didn't. You didn't get where you wanted to go.
Not all the way.
Sorry.
Well,
So, but
didn't necessarily go all the way on the first few dates.
SpaceX has.
Obviously, an abort scenario is a different kind of stress on the
high stress.
Yeah. I'm wondering if that impacts reusability. Do you get fewer flights out of a Crew Dragon in that scenario, or is that to be determined?
I'm not sure. I would really require a lot of thought and, of course, support from NASA to refly a Dragon that went through an abort. I hope that this is such a rare event that the circumstance never comes up. Since the spacecraft has a very powerful base heat shield and even leeward side heat shield, it should be really not significantly affected by a fireball. So it could quite literally, like something out of Star Wars, fly right out of the fireball. So that's obviously we want to avoid doing that, but but it is really meant to be something that can fly out of the fireball.
You have 5 sons. It's always hard to be a cool dad. What do your kids think is the coolest thing about Dad?
I'm not sure.
The rockets, the cars?
But, they don't seem too excited about these things because I kind of grew up. I take them to the factory and it's like, is this exciting? They're like, oh, we've seen it 20 times.
When you look at games and the games you play now, I mean, what are the things you want to see in games that don't happen right now? Is there anything that, like, when you play a game, you're like, I wish it did this, or I wish you're obviously thinking about, lots of things, but when you play games, are you satisfied, or are there things that frustrate you about games? What do you want to see games do in the future?
I don't know if I should say.
Yeah. You working on a game too?
No.
Okay.
No, but I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, a bit more R-rated. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm trying to be honest here.
Okay.
Popular theme.
What's your comment on NASA, its mission, and what advice would you give us?
Sure. Well, first of all, I should say I'm a big fan of NASA. In fact, at one point, my password was "I love NASA," Literally, that was my password.
So I know a lot of the focus is obviously going to be on the data from the Crew Dragon, but I was also wondering how much data you were able to get after the breakup of the first stage, and if there's any plans to use that data for possible future mission parameters for crew or for range or anything like that.
We lost telemetry on the first